Has already been mentioned a couple of times. I saw a lovely still from it and thought, there you go, we're in Waz
Anderson. That's what all his friends call him, Matt.
If I'm not going out for a stream, I'm going out for a Waz Anderson. Anyway, tell us about Asteroid City.
Okay, so...
Okay, you don't like it. I can tell already that you don't like it.
How can you tell that?
Because you went, okay, so you've already got...
All right, so opens in boxy black and white, 4x3. Bryan Cranston as the host, who is introducing you behind the scenes of a play, which we're going to see from start to finish, the creation of it. Created by an author, Conrad Earp, played by Ed Norton, and it is to be set in the American Southwest of the mid-50s, and it's going to address infinity and I don't know what else. Cut to widescreen, full colour, massively colour saturated titular town, Asteroid City, in the mid-50s, where the drama is that the group of people are converging there for a conference of young stargazers and space cadets. At the very beginning, we see the town, and the town basically consists of a motel, a cafe, a half-finished bridge, an observatory, and a crater created by the asteroid. I think it says Asteroid City population 80-something, so it's very, very small. And through the main street, or indeed the only street of the town, at regular intervals, race cops and robbers like they're on a Skeletrix track. So everything is very, very Wes Anderson, very artificial, very much like a set. They turn up there. The cast is incredibly starry. I mean, the likes of, Tilda Swinton, Jeffrey Wright, Jay Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson. So Jason Schwartzman plays this central character who is a war photographer who arrives with his family. He also has in a Tupperware box the ashes of his wife. He hasn't yet told his children that their mother is dead. And when they're in a diner, his eye is caught by Scarlett Johansson and her daughter. Here's a clip.
You took a picture of me.
Uh-huh.
Why?
I'm a photographer.
You didn't ask permission.
I never ask permission.
Why not?
Because I work in trenches, battlefields, and combat zones.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You mean you're a war photographer?
Mostly. Sometimes I cover sporting events. My name is Augie Steenbeck.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with that picture?
Well, if it's any good, I guess I'll try to sell it to a magazine, now that you mention it. Midge Campbell, eating a waffle.
He's got a pipe in his mouth, which
He
is
has.
why he's speaking in a slightly...
Because he's in a Wes Anderson film. And everyone will talk like that all the way through the film. So it's all very, very arch, none of it, realistic. Although oddly enough, during all the stuff with the television wraparound, which they keep going back to, in which the people that we see there being those characters are actors playing those characters, talking about the development of the characters in a way that's meant to kind of evoke the heyday of the actor's studio. So there's a connection between Scarlett Johansson's character and Marilyn Monroe, for example. She keeps talking about the fact that she has abusive relationships, but in fact she has a great talent for comedy. Blah, 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 blah. Co-written by Wes Anderson and Roman Coppola, absolutely littered with very, very Anderson-esque, people saying gadzooks and that sort of stuff. Oh. And very, very starry cast, completely full of celebrity cameos. Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Margot Robbie, Jarvis Cocker. Everywhere you look. So the whole thing has the air of...
Jarvis Cocker was a standout name there. He's not as big a star, but...
he's done stuff with Anderson before. So it's just, but there's everywhere you look, there are people. You get that. Here is the thing. How one feels about Wes Anderson movies is often slightly conflicted. Everything, the way in which Wes Anderson does, I always said this thing about the Wes Anderson outtakes reel, the gags, the bloopers reel, would be somebody sitting in a perfectly formed corduroy suit at a desk and a pencil is slightly on the shonk and everyone falls about laughing because, everything about his thing is it's created like a miniature world. And sometimes this works really well. I thought Grand Budapest Hotel was really, really funny. I'm a big fan of Royal Tenenbaums. Every now and then he does stuff that, that really feels like it has heart and soul. Also, at the other end of it, you have films like French Dispatch, which was just unbelievably tooth-grating. This isn't as tooth-grating as French Dispatch, but I found it sorely patience-testing. And the reason I did was it felt like it's something that was so full of its own construction and its own confection and its own color coding that you saw then in terms of the the oversaturated colors, that what it completely forgot to do was to actually have any heart. Now, weirdly enough, then what happens is that the father-in-law, played by Tom Hanks, has to arrive, because there is this whole... Tom Hanks, who is not the kind of person who does stuff that doesn't have heart. Tom Hanks is literally, I'd like my movie to have heart. Let's get Tom Hanks, because that's what he brings. Even Tom Hanks can't raise this above the level of the whole film conducted like somebody, have you ever heard Mink DeVille?
Spanish Stroll.
Spanish Stroll. Finger on your eyebrow, left hand on your hip. And I can imagine the whole film being directed with somebody with their finger on their eyebrow and their left hand on their arch. And it's that thing about the gap between quirky and irksome is really, really thin. And this, for me, tipped right over into irksome. And then there's a moment in it in which they play... do you remember Mars Attacks?
Yes.
You enjoyed Mars Attacks, right?
Yes, I haven't seen it since, but there you go.
Mars Attacks is really good fun. I mean, it's completely all over the place and it's a mess, but in it, that Slim Whitman Indian love call, the yodeling, is used to make the aliens' heads explode. In this film, it turns up in the background, and it immediately made me think, I really enjoyed Mars Attacks. It's a total mess, and it's got that weird bit about Tom Jones at the end singing "It's Not Unusual" while the birds come and land on this thing, and I don't know what was good, but I just want this film to exhale. That film Waiting to Exhale, I found myself sitting through Asteroid City thinking, sometimes, oh, that's intriguing. Sometimes, oh, this boxes within boxes. They're actors playing actors and discussing them. And sometimes just like, okay, enough of the sixth form. Just enough. I think it's the most Wes Anderson movie Wes Anderson has ever made. And I think it's made me realize that actually what I love about Wes Anderson movies is when they step outside of the Wes Anderson box. But this has stepped right into it. And like that celebrity I told you about Glastonbury locking themselves into the Winnebago, this has locked itself into the Winnebago of Wes Anderson films, and it ain't coming out even if you're desperate for a poo.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.